It is known that a sane and competent man enjoys remedy and recourse to all fictions of law and full protection from the majority, incompetent or otherwise, such that he is free to comport himself according to natural law, as long as natural law requires. I am therefore compelled by natural law to offer the following choice of recourse and subsequent consequences for each particular choice to the named respondents. The choice must be unanimous by all named respondents on or before the 21st day of July in the year known to man as 2012. All named respondents may defer to their superiors, but consequences are to proceed as indicated below for each choice. Once the choice is made, it then becomes a matter of natural law. Choice 1. The first choice is to ignore this notice and order, whereby the aforementioned uncomfortable lawful consequences are to proceed according to the natural law against every named respondent, and he or she can expect no mercy so long as they live. The existing fictions of law will lose their power according to natural law, and all officers will be subject to a penetration of their perceived immunity of office. Choice 2. The second choice is to act and deprive me of my life or freedom, whereby the uncomfortable lawful consequences and the additional likewise treatment are to proceed according to the natural law against every named respondent, against the perpetrator, and against the conspirators of the act of murder or unlawful imprisonment, as all named respondents can expect no mercy so long as they live. The existing fictions of law will lose their power according to natural law, and all officers will be subject to a penetration of their perceived immunity of office. Choice 3. The third choice is to provide me with the following. I am to be compensated for my lifetime of labor in the amount of $1 lawful dollar of gold, of a lawful weight, measure, and quality, for each weekday of my life, since and including the 19th day of January in the year known to man as 1979, until and including the exact day that this notice and order is executed. I am to be provided exclusive, unencumbered, and uninfringed right to 77 lawful acres of land possessing clean water, natural resources, required to provide natural, safe food in a completely sustainable manner, with a climate that is acceptable to me, and where I enjoy freedom from fiction and imprisonment. Choice 3 continued. The location of this land is to be such that it is free of effect from future activities of existing fictions of law. The right of the land is to include the ability to transfer stewardship of the land to a qualified heir. I am to be provided a reasonable means and access to a method of exchange with existing commercial fictions to procure only needful things at an acceptable cost, and only to reasonably instantiate and facilitate my humble, discreet, continued, and sustainable existence upon the land. This exchange is to ensure that I am to remain immunized from all activity of a fictional nature, and ensure that I do not sustain uncomfortable lawful consequences, and so that the aforementioned lawful compensation can be recovered in time by the appropriate fictions of law. Choice 3 continued. I am to be provided easy access to one man or woman who is a duly authorized agent that speaks on the behalf of the fictions, such that I can redress lawful grievance when it occurs with the fictions as they now and will exist. This choice ensures full alignment with natural law, as the duty of lawful remedy and recourse is met, such that the existing fictions of law may continue to serve their natural lawful function, and I may exist as I am required to under natural law. This choice requires reasonable provision of time, determined by me, provided the choice is made and committed to by the time required. Consequences will proceed immediately in the case of breach of the commitment of this choice. It is known and clearly understood by all that in no way do I act to facilitate or am I party to any execution of the aforementioned uncomfortable lawful consequences in any way, shape, or form. As for me, I await the response from all named respondents, and it is known that I am required by natural law to forgive any perceived injury, and I accept and appreciate the choice that is to be made by all named respondents. There is not any valid justification for violence, ill temper, hard feelings, ill will, or bad manners within the execution of natural law. I exist only to exercise love, forgiveness, and gratitude, as all is as it must be. As above, so below, and as below, so above. Any perversion of meaning of this notice and order outside of my control and acceptance constitutes a violation of my rights. Any language used in this notice and order is subject exclusively to my comprehension and intent. Any amendment, revision, clarification, or restatement of the language of this notice and order for any reason remains my exclusive right. This notice and order is now in effect and expires when I say it does, and only when I say it does. Any attempt to conceal or subvert this notice and warning constitutes a violation of my rights. Any act not approved and accepted by me against anyone, outside of me, by anyone, for any reason, at any time, that I deem inappropriate or outrageous, that is perpetrated as retaliation against the service of this notice and order, will constitute a violation of my rights. Any act of violence against anyone connected directly or indirectly to the service and execution of this notice and order is the exclusive responsibility of the perpetrator of the act, and that perpetrator will be held strictly liable for damages under natural law. Nothing in or without of this notice and order will constitute a contract or waiver of any right. I can be reached through the use of a telephone at this number, 512-534-0533, or directly at the dwelling which has an address in fiction of 1301 Falcon Oaks Drive, Leander, Texas. Do not call the number above if you are not acting directly on this notice and order. You can contact me through the website, www.roge.com. If you are moved to assist, then your effort would be best served by bringing this notice and order to the attention of all named respondents and peacefully applying pressure to the named respondents to comport themselves according to natural law. This restoration notice and order is duly served on this 11th day of July in the year known to man as 2012, before a world of witnesses, and served by Roger Kent Poole. End of notice and order.